Morning folks, join me in the back cave, just coming out, just loaded up, 6 o'clock in the morning. We've got a bit of a rush delivery for a chap who's coming over from Ireland. We're going to meet him up in Cairnryan this morning. So, up on the west coast of Scotland there, for those of you who know, it's where you get the ferry to Ireland. So, yeah, let's get him his bike up there. As you know, we try and do what we can for folks, get them parking sensors off. And he needs the bike trip on, so, and I go away myself. Obviously we're taking that big caddy to Spain, so let's get him his bike, let's get the job done. Speak to you along the way. Let's get to my favourite petrol station on the way out of Grimsby, the jet station on the A180, where the fuel now, diesel's down to about 145. It's not the best, but it's certainly getting there. So let's get on. See you on the road. Well, I've had to abandon my favourite petrol station because it's packed. It's just gone 20 past 6 in the morning and it's absolutely packed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to whiz on A66, other end near Penrith. There's a good place there, sells brilliant chocolate macaroons, so we'll get a chocolate macaroon in, a couple of packs of them for the journey, and for home because Lisa loves them as well. So let's get going. Got a range of 190 miles, that should well get me up there, top up there, might even get me home, so I might have to do 2 stops. But we've got 5 hours, 20 minutes to run to Cairnryan, getting there about, well, it says just before 12 o'clock, so with a bit of luck, make up some time, because I believe the chap's getting in off his ferry about 10:30ish, something like that. But he's not going back till 7:30 tonight, he's going to have a ride around Scotland. And I don't blame him, on the low chassis GS, which is absolutely perfect for that. So let's get moving. Let's get to Cairnryan. See you in a bit. Tractor or something. So I hope everyone's alright there. It's sort of 7 o'clock in the morning. There didn't look to be an awful lot of things attending it. So yeah, fingers crossed. Now we're just the other side of Scunthorpe, so somewhere just the other side of Scunny. It looks like it's somewhere, looks like a small, I don't know, don't want to even speculate, but something's on fire in the middle of the field anyway, which is strange for a green field at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, hopefully everyone's okay. Right, let's carry on. west side of the A66, probably about another 10 miles from Penrith. And as usual, little speed camera at the bottom of a great big long hill. Yeah, can't just be there to for safety, that can it? Surely you'd be near a bend or before a bend or something where accidents happen, but the bottom of a big long hill is purely there to get your pennies. Anyway, we're not far now from the petrol station, which I like to visit, which is good because we've got the light on. But I have been known to come out of my way to go to this one, just because of their coconut macaroons, so I hope they've got some. I really do. Yeah, I'll be gutted if they've got any. Yeah, they've got any of them. Anyway, lovely day. 866, always a nice drive, and I love driving up towards Scotland as well. It's always nice, and that stretch from Annan to Stranraer, that's really nice as well. So looking obviously back end of June, we'll be coming this way on the monkey bikes. We've got a little crew together now. I think there's 11 of us going, maybe 2 more. So, and I think we'll be coming up this way. The 125s. I think one lad, Lee's going to take his TZR. Another lad on a cruiser. We've got another lad on like a Triumph Scrambler sort of copy thing. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of a laugh, I think. A few monkeys. And head up this way. So we've got a full day to get to Stranraer on that day. It's about 300 miles. Maybe a little bit longer when we're taking up a few shorter roads and stuff, because we don't run motorways on them, obviously. Yeah, so I'm doing the recce today. That's what I'm saying I'm doing. Doing a delivery, doing the recce. Make sure the road is safe for all of us to travel. Yeah. Still not got our charity sorted, I don't think. So I'll get on to the boys and see which one we're going to pick, and then we can get organised and collect some dollar for them while we're doing our trip. And we've got a bit of support. Dave's going to take the trusty Razor back as well, so that's going to be good. The old Volkswagen. He's going to carry our bags and what have you, so we ain't going to chuck all our stuff on our back, which is fine, but after a while it can get a bit wearing. So, and Dave gives Dave an excuse to come away with us as well, doesn't it? Because he doesn't ride a bike. So, right, fuel station. Let's get there. Let's carry on. Let's see what they've got. Go on, Mr. Van, get moved out. I do like that petrol station. So 153, which ain't bad, is it? Better than if I get stung on the motorway at 199. So set now for another 400-500 miles. 132 miles to run to Cairnryan, Stranraer. So yeah, that's us. Let's get going. Got my macaroons. They've changed name, to be fair, but they are the same ones. I asked the lady, who also was really nice lady in there, and was having a giggle at the "Get Your Leg Over" written on the side of the van. Said obviously it's motorbikes, and she was like, "Oh, obviously you go get your leg over." So before Lisa gets mad, she was quite an elderly lady. But anyway, off we go. Stranraer. Might tell you a story on the way. Let's see. Let's go. A85 now, which is the last leg over to Stranraer. About an hour to run, so we've got the hour before jitters, as you can probably imagine. Well, I'm sure it's fine. Chap sounds really nice, called Jake. He's coming over, he's bought a low chassis GS, and he's travelled over on the ferry this morning. from County Down, and he's coming across, grabbing this GS and going for a bit of a ride around and getting the ferry back later on today. Scenery down this A85 is absolutely lovely, which is absolutely, it's nice as a drive, go somewhere different. We've come up here quite a few times to drop bikes, meet people from Ireland actually, and always enjoy it. I think the first time we ever did it, we came in 2 cars, dropped a car off for a chap. Now you've got to be careful down here, that is one thing, because there are speed traps, bottom of hills, and they're there to get you. Got me once, so right at the end of a bit of double lane, so I was a bit annoying. But anyway, and then that first time we came up in that Audi, we'd booked a B&B because me and Lee thought we'd stay over. And when we got there, it was about -22 that day. It was a real cold snap, if you remember that. There are alpacas up there, my life. Anyway, really, really cold snap. And we got to the B&B, and the chap says, "Oh, you like the cold then?" I says, "Well, no, we don't mind." And he went, "Oh, that's all right, because the heating hasn't worked for about 2 weeks." I was like, "Oh." Anyway, me and Lee sat in this bedroom for about 10 minutes. Absolutely freezing cold, see our own breath and all that rubbish. And was well, can't stay here. And I went, "No." There's a knock on the door, and it's the same guy, and he said, "Right, I can't do your breakfast in the morning." He said, "Well, I'm going to make you a sandwich." I said, "A sandwich?" He went, "Yes, we're a full English breakfast." He went, "No." He says, no cook, I can do you a sandwich." What? No. Anyway, he shut the door and he left. I said to Lisa, I went, "Hang on, if there's no heating, there's no hot water, is there? So, come on, we need to go find somewhere else." So we let ourselves out, went for a drive, went to the pub, spoke to someone there, found an absolutely lovely B&B, really, really nice, and spoke to the lady in there, and she accommodated us. A bit less money and one thing and another. So, right, we're moving here. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. Shot up to see the fella. I said, "No, mate." I said, we're not stopping tonight." "Why not?" I said, "No hot water and no breakfast, no heating, nothing. It's -22." And he went, "Well, have a shower that's heated by electric in one of the rooms if you want that one, so you've got some hot water." Mate, no. Just refund us or whatever. I think it was booking.com we used. And off we went to our other B&B, at which point the lady said that this chap does that regularly. Well, he does it all the time, basically. Not regularly, he does it all the time. Just tells guests that his heating's just broke, doesn't put the heating on for him, doesn't cook them a breakfast, he's got advertising one. So, yeah, you got to look out for this, haven't you? Because I think we could have possibly died in there that night. -22. Anyway, on the A85, loving the scenery, 51 miles to go. Looking forward to riding up here on my monkey bike, because it's awesome, really, really beautiful and whatever. So that's always to tell. Let's see if we can get a bit of film and just get the bike out. See you in a bit.
One of their 4 top 20 hits. What was the name of the second?
The Tide is High?
No, bad luck. It was See Ya. Okay, which band made its chart debut in 2005 with the #1, "I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor"?
Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic Monkeys, it is. Olita Adams had her biggest hit in 1991 with which top 5 song? Olita Adams. Passing, right, it was. Probably a lot of people shouting out, "Get here, get here." Okay, a bonus question coming now. Something beginning with the word C. Gonna play your top 10 hit from 1956. Please identify the group. See you later on again.
So
That one, you know,
Yeah.
it could end up anyway.
that's it. That's us up in Cairnryan.
Yeah.
Get in. Jake's new GS. At least this way, if I drop it, we get loads of money off YouTube, won't we?
I like the wee part of it.
Sorry?
I like the wee part of it.
Well, yeah. It'll definitely be a week.
That's the wrong bike, boy.
I hope not. I tell you what, if it's the wrong one, I'll nip back and get the other.
I won't be here when you get back, well.
You can come with me.
No, look, pubs,
Come and visit Grimsby. There you go, sir.
Happy days.
Thank you very much. Take a look.
She looks the part, doesn't she?
So, there you go. That's us heading home now to sunny Grimsby. That's Jake there, dead happy with his bike. Just sort of gone on a little run through with it, with him, and he's going to try and get the next ferry back. He's not so hopeful. He thinks he might be stuck here till 7:30 tonight. I said, well, if you've got to ride that around all day, you're having a good day, aren't you? So, absolutely perfect. Job's a good one. Let's get back to Grimsby. This beautiful scenery of Cairnryan. Take another look. That's the other ferry port, P&O. We've just been to Stennerline. Right then, off we come. Well, as I'm travelling back down the A75 now, it's some of the most stunning scenery. Just seen it. There was a huge buzzard at the side of the road, sat on the posters. See some curlews on a roundabout, stone lion, see to my right. Lucky to get out and really enjoy this stuff in the van, and just spoke to the lovely guy, dropped the bike off, and you know, he said, you're such a lucky guy and all the rest of it, and you're like, sometimes you forget, and he's right, but there's not a lot, there is some luck involved, guaranteed, but a bit of hard work as well. And it got me thinking as I'm driving through this countryside of another mother story. Yep, my mum has more car stories that you could relate to do with her than pretty much anyone I know. Probably myself, maybe, because obviously push myself about more cars and bikes, but my mum, disasters, scrapes, you name it. And seeing as we're in Scotland, we'll sell a little Scottish one. So, many moons ago, she bought herself a little Yaris when the Toyota Yaris first came out. So that would be 99, 2000, somewhere around that era. And a little blue Yaris, bluey purple. And she absolutely loved it because my mum had worked hard, she'd been to university late on in life and just got herself a teacher's job and one thing or other. And so she bought this little Yaris. And it's probably the first newish car that she'd ever had. She's not been driving that many years either. She'll probably tell you a lot about some of the stories. The only person that the driving instructor got out of the car and walked off that I know of. Anyway, so she's travelling up to Scotland in the little Yaris, and she's going up to visit a friend in Aberdeen because it's all novelty and stuff, and she thought, well, I'm driving now, you know, the world's your oyster. So she was off to see a good friend in Aberdeen where we used to live, and indeed I grew up for the first few years of my life in a lovely, lovely town of Cruden Bay, and well, it's village of Cruden Bay, which is awesome. Anyway, she's on the way up there. So she goes up there, and she's not known for being particularly, what's the word, slow or obeying things generally. She'll ring you, I can't believe I've been done by a traffic warden. Can't you, ma'am? No. Did you park somewhere you shouldn't be? Well, I did, but you know, I was only here 5 minutes. So you kind of getting the drift. Bless her. So off she pops to Scotland, has a wonderful time, sees her friend in Scotland, and all's well. Drives back. Apart from she missed Grimsby by about 150 miles, but never mind, that was on the way home. Anyway, she got home safe, which is the main thing. And a couple of days later, through the post comes 2 speeding fines. If you know the area, the A9 around Perth, she'd got flashed the camera 2 separate times, doing 95 miles an hour in a Yaris on the A9. So we had a couple of words about it. About I sometimes forget who's the mother and who's the son. I'm sort of telling her, ma'am, you can't be driving it. She can't see properly. You can't be driving at those, all that good stuff. So I said, but while we're at it, I said, these 2 speeding fines, I said, they're both at exactly the same speed. And she said, yeah. And I said, well, there must be a way of wriggling out of one of these, because you can't be done for the same crime twice in this country. So to basically get one paid, and if you pay one, and then you can go to court and fight the other because you've already been paid and punished. So this is the process I set off. What you also need to know about me is she's quite an intelligent lady, and she will find things out. So off she set, and she found this law that was called a thole and a size. Basically, she pleaded guilty to the first one by paying the fine and taking the points on one, and then she asked to go to court on the second one, because the first one you can't be tried for the same crime twice, as we already mentioned. So she has a date in court in Perth. I believe it was Perth. Anyway, letter from the sheriff, everything else. She had found something on Tinterweb called tholed and assized. I believe that's the correct term. Memory's, not as good as it sharp as it used to be. But tholed and assized basically called the judge incompetent for bringing her to court for something she'd already been done for. So that's what she did. So, man being me man, sets off up to Scotland for a court date, and promptly collides with a transit van on the A180 out of Grimsby, about 30 miles out of Grimsby, and sends the transit van down the verge, collides with the central reservation, wrote the car off. This is on the way to a court date for speeding. So that aside, that's one story. She had to get the court date adjourned. She was okay. Van driver was okay, luckily, and of course it wasn't her fault. How the van quite got down the drop, I've no idea, without her hitting it from the right hand side. But anyway, that's a different story. So we're delayed and we go to court. She takes herself off up to Perth, see the sheriff, procurate fiscal, and immediately parks in his parking spot, and gets the call. Whoever owns this car, please move it out this parking spot. Yes, that's it. She's really off to a good start. Anyway, she gets in the court, produces her argument, produces her line of the thole and assize. Now, at which point the sheriff says to her, "You do need to be very careful, Mrs. Rogers Thomas, because using this law, thole and assize, what you're actually doing is calling me incompetent, which means all the cases that I have tried for the last 6 to 8 months, a year, all have to be thrown out. And in there's murderers, some real bad people in there, that all their sentences and everything else and court appearances will all be declared null and void if you win on this thole and assize." Okay, she said, well, that as may be, we have to, get to where we need to get to. So he says, that's okay, Mrs. Rogers Thomas. He said, you've obviously done your homework. And he said, I can see that you've paid a fine for doing 95 miles an hour on the A9 in your Toyota Yaris. He said, and you are claiming that it is the same offence from start to finish. That's right. 95 mile an hour continuously. Therefore, one offence, one sentence. Okay, he said. Mrs. Rogers Thomas, are you familiar with this particular section of the A9? Yes, I'm very familiar with this section of the A9. Okay, he said. Well, the problem we have, he said, is that you paid the second fine and not the first fine. So, therefore, it makes it more difficult to escape the first one. If you'd paid the first speeding and not the second, then what you were suggesting may well be true. But you haven't. You paid the second, not the first. I'm like, what difference that make? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, that was his line. And he said, and you maintain that you never dropped below or went above 95 miles an hour for that 15-mile section of road. I probably should have dropped that in. No, she said, absolutely not. I said, okay. He said, how fast did you go around the roundabouts? So, kind of fell down there, but £150 fine, no points. Judge didn't have to let all the murderers free. Mum got a rap on the knuckles, still got 3 points for that. And guess what? She never slowed down or got any better. So, for another one, I'll tell you another day. Let's keep on driving. 5:30 to get home. Range of 350 miles, 273 miles to run. So, I think we'll get there. Might not need any more fuel. See how we go. Yep, I was taking 2 packs of macaroons home. I'm only taking 1 now. If you ever get a chance to get some of these, they're now called Mrs. Grimballs. Never used to be, they used something else, but I'll tell you what, they're stunning. And I could probably stop and get more on the way home and then no one would ever know, would they? Good point. No, look at him. Curlew's on the roundabout. Did you see him? I hope so. All day, no traffic, 2 minutes from home. Here we go. Probably going to take half an hour to do this bit. So, we're back. We are back from Cairnryan Ferry. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. 590 miles, 26.8 to the gallon. What a day. Well, but chap's happy, I'm happy, everything's good. Excuse me. So, bit of pollen. Let's go get some tea and on to the next thing. See you later. just the one day out and about today, because we've been, well, not this week. Stuck a little bit in there. Been getting the old caddy done. Had new brakes and stuff. If you ever have to put back brakes on one of these pads, wowee, that's a challenge. Something I've not ever come across, the way that the back brake calipers work. But anyway, they're done. Coolant's all changed. Everything's good in there. For that super waterless coolant, it's had transmission gasket as well, so hopefully that's not leaking, and some CV boots. They're all done. So we took the bike up to Cairnryan this week. That's done, that's up there. He's most happy, gone back to Ireland with it. Ranger's come in. That's all done and dusted and videoed, so you can see that on a separate video if you're interested. And we've just been out on a little quick 100-mile ride on the Honda Monkey, just to get accustomed, get my backside in order and everybody else's. So she's just back from quick 100-mile blat around the Lincolnshire countryside. I'll put you a little tiny snippet in there. And yeah, that's it. Few bikes out again this week. Couple more in. Can't think what, but they'll all get popped up on videos as we go along. So I'm going to go nip inside, get this edited up, and see. You'll have seen the little trip to Cairnryan by then. So there you go. On to the next one. Don't forget, ask your missus first.